1 year on from the devastating Black Summer bushfires, the club industry is still working hard to support some of the worst affected areas on the New South Wales South Coast, both financially and physically.
New Year's Eve, crowds started turning up. We were wondering where they were all coming from, and obviously the fires attacked Cabargo and went through. We had about 500 people in the club, sheltering, who were all visitors. We kept the club open, we fed them for 2 nights in a row. They slept here overnight, and they were in the poker machine lounge and on the ramp and TAB, they were everywhere. And then the evacuation came, so the visitors left the town. And then after that, the fires were still surrounding, and the locals then decided to park their caravans and boats and motorbikes and cars and everything from the golf course. Financially, it was devastating for the club because basically all of January, that's where 40% of our revenue comes from. We sent a bit of an SOS out. The phone call from Clubs New South Wales said, look, there's a number of clubs that were donating, but Campsie RSL had quite a significant donation. They donated $60,000, which got us through that next 2 to 3 months to get our club back on track again and to pay the staff and the bills that were coming in. So they were a saviour for the club.
The board of directors at the Campsie RSL group reached out and thought it was really important because they were obviously in need right now and needing not just good wishes, they needed some help and they needed action. And we thought the best way that we could contribute during this period was financial and monetary support straight away. As an industry, we needed to kind of pull together and stick together, not just as a country, but also we could contribute within our own ecosystem. It's really rewarding. For the industry as a whole, it's just great to see that one of our own are back on their feet again and to see the club and the green so lush and people enjoying themselves, taking a break for whatever it is they're going through and coming down hitting a round of golf, and that's important.
It was dark as, it was black, it was like midnight. Next thing it was red skies. We had over 500 people from the local community evacuated here into the club. New Year's Eve is the busiest day of our whole trading year, and then those following 2 weeks is our peak time when we see our largest source of income. Mark and his team from Bankstown Sports reached out through Clubs New South Wales to offer financial assistance to us to pay utility bills, which then allowed us to reopen, order in stock and start trading again. That financial assistance really helped us get through those dire times.
We've been coming as a family down to Narooma for 40 years, and we were booked in for the first 2 weeks in January to come to Narooma. And I guess what was scary was, for the first time, we actually knew the places they were talking about. It was personal to us. And these clubs did what they are meant to do, which is to become evacuation centres, and it was important that they remained afloat and they were looked after, and so we did what we could. We have 17 of our executive team down here today and tomorrow. We are going to be working with Disaster Relief Australia, helping some of the properties from here up to Maruya recover from the bushfires. They could see the devastation still, and I think it really meant something to them today to be part of it.
We've gotten together as part of the Bankstown Sports Group just to come out and help these really lovely people set up their fence. Big job, hot work, but it's very rewarding.
Coming back a few days after when we could get in and seeing the devastation, total loss of wildlife, flora, fauna, and this continuing burning of trees, it was pretty horrible. I lost my house, and fencing, obviously anything timber, the help that we get is just great and so grateful for you. They took down a pretty big tree that was on the property that was going to take out a chicken coop that I'd rebuilt and some shedding that I'd rebuilt. If it had fallen, and it was just beyond me to probably do that. And that sort of stuff just helps you to get over the hump to keep the momentum going on the work.
Getting to see these people and what they've been through and how far they've come, I can just see how much work everybody's put in and how everybody's really banded together, and it's really been a very rewarding experience.
Clubs are genuinely here for the community. The mere fact that they opened their club for the locals to provide them breakfast, lunch and dinner, and that's the genuine community spirit of the club industry. It's important that all of us step up because clubs do that.
Slowly rebuilding, everybody's helping each other as you do in a small community. Just on behalf of all our members, we've got just over 8,000 members, and so I'll heartily just thank Bankstown Sports and all the clubs that are contributed to the clubs down here on the South Coast and other bushfire affected areas.
What makes Club Plus super different? I truly believe it's our people. From our friendly contact centre to our amazing member service managers on the road, providing personal support at your club, looking after our employers and their staff.